The Chain of Knower, Knowing and Known by Annie Besant, read by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. The chain of knower, knowing and known. There is one word, vibration, which is becoming more and more the keynote of Western science, as it has long been that of the science of the East. Motion is the root of all. Life is motion, consciousness is motion, and that motion affecting matter is vibration. The one, the all, we think of as changeless, either as absolute motion or as motionless, since in one, relative motion cannot be. Only when there is differentiation or parts can we think of what we call motion, which is change of place in succession of time. When the one becomes the many, then motion arises. It is health, consciousness, life when rhythmic, regular, as it is disease and consciousness, death when without rhythm, irregular. For life and death are twin sisters, alike born of motion, which is manifestation. Motion must needs appear when the one becomes the many, since when the omnipresent appears as separate particles, infinite motion must represent omnipresence, or otherwise put, must be its reflection or image in matter. The essence of matter is separateness, as that of spirit is unity, and when the twain appear in the one, as cream in milk, the reflection of the omnipresence of that one in the multiplicity of matter is ceaseless and infinite motion. Absolute motion, the presence of every moving unit at every point of space, at every moment in time, is identical with the rest, being only the rest looked at in another way, from the standpoint of matter instead of from that of spirit. From the standpoint of spirit there is always one, from that of matter there are always many. This infinite motion appears as rhythmical movements, vibrations in the matter which manifests it. Each jiva, or separated unit of consciousness, being isolated by an enclosing wall of matter from all of the jivas. Each jiva further becomes embodied or clothed in several garments of matter. As these garments of matter vibrate, they communicate their vibrations to the matter surrounding them. Such matter becomes the medium wherein the vibrations are carried outwards, and this medium in turn communicates the impulse of vibration to the enclosing garments of another jiva, and thus sets that jiva vibrating like the first. In this series of vibrations, beginning in one jiva, made in the body that encircles it, sent on by the body to the medium around it, communicated by that to another body. There is no convenient English word for a separated unit of consciousness, spirit and soul connoting various peculiarities in different schools of thought. I shall therefore venture to use the name jiva instead of the clumsy, a separated unit of consciousness, and from that second body to the jiva encircled by it, we have the chain of vibrations whereby one knows another. The second knows the first because he reproduces the first in himself, and thus experiences as he experiences, and yet with a difference, for our second jiva is already in a vibratory condition, and his state of motion after receiving the impulse from the first is not a simple repetition of that impulse, but a combination of his own original motion with that imposed on him from without, and hence is not a perfect reproduction. Similarities are obtained, ever closer and closer, but identity ever eludes us, so long as the garments remain. This sequence of vibratory actions is often seen in nature. A flame is a centre of vibratory activity in ether, named by us heat. These vibrations or heat waves throw the surrounding ether into waves like unto themselves, and these throw the ether in a piece of iron lying near into similar waves, and its particles vibrate under their impulse, and so the iron becomes hot and a source of heat in turn. So does a series of vibrations pass from one jiva to another, and all beings are interlinked by this network of consciousness. So again, in physical nature, we mark off different ranges of vibrations by different names, calling one set light, another heat, another electricity, another sound, and so on. Yet all are of the same nature. All are modes of motion in ether, though they differ in rates of velocity and in the character of the waves. Thoughts, desires and actions, the active manifestations in matter of knowledge, will and energy, are all of the same nature. That is, all are made up of vibrations but differ in their phenomena because of the different character of the vibrations. There is a series of vibrations in a particular kind of matter and with a certain character, and these we call thought vibrations. Another series is spoken of as desire vibrations, another series as action vibrations. These names are descriptive of certain facts in nature. There is a certain kind of ether thrown into vibration, and its vibrations affect our eyes. We call the motion light. There is another far subtler ether thrown into vibrations which are perceived, i.e. are responded to by the mind, and we call that motion thought. We are surrounded by matter of different densities, and we name the motions in it as they affect ourselves, and are answered to by different organs of our gross or subtle bodies. We name light certain motions affecting the eye. We name thought certain motions affecting another organ, the mind. Seeing occurs when the light ether is thrown into waves from an object to our eye. Thinking occurs when the thought ether is thrown into waves between an object and our mind. The one is not more nor less mysterious than the other. In dealing with the mind, we shall see that modifications in the arrangement of its materials are caused by the impact of thought waves, and that in concrete thinking we experience over again the original impacts from without. The knower finds his activity in these vibrations, and all to which they can answer, that is, all that they can reproduce, is knowledge. The thought is a reproduction within the mind of the knower of that which is not the knower, is not the self. It is a picture caused by a combination of wave motions, an image quite literally. A part of the not self vibrates, and as the knower vibrates in answer, that part becomes the known. The matter quivering between them makes knowing possible by putting them into touch with each other. Thus is the chain of the knower, known and knowing established and maintained.